We all have our superpowers. You are good at what you do. You're probably the best out there. And you show up, you post, you put in the work, you're doing everything you can to get those eyeballs. And still, it feels like getting those leads and getting referrals is an uphill battle, making the whole visibility song and dance feel completely futile. And there's more platforms, there's more content, there's more tools than ever before. So why does it feel like doing everything right often adds up to those crickets? I think something has shifted in the last couple of years, and my guest today has some incredible thoughts on why that is, what we can be doing about it, and in fact, she's actually built her entire career around it. So let's get into it. But first, welcome back to the table, the podcast where we talk about all the things you'd actually want to bring up at a really good dinner party with your founder friends, marketing, strategy, and building a business that works in your real life. I'm Dani. I'm the founder of Mise en Plan, and I am your host. And on this season of The Table, we are talking about all things navigating change. Not change for its own sake, but what's actually shifting in the world around us and how the smartest founders are adapting, how they build and run their businesses because of it. And this shift is a really big one because I think it upends what we've all been told and assumed when it comes to being seen. And today I am joined by KJ Blattenbauer, the founder of Hearsay PR. KJ, welcome to the table.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, I am so excited to have you here because when we got on our call to prep for this, you said something that I have not stopped thinking about when it comes to visibility. But first, I want to tell everyone a little bit about you before we dig in. KJ is a recognition strategist. She's a speaker and the founder of Hearsay PR. And for nearly 3 decades, she has helped founders, experts, and category leaders become impossible to ignore, not by chasing visibility, but by changing how they're actually recognized in the marketplace. She has a whole proprietary process for this, the recognition roadmap that uncovers the gap between how you see yourself and how the world actually describes you, so you become easier to remember, refer, and to choose. And she is also the author of Pitchworthy, the host of Pitchworthy, the podcast, and she has shown up in Forbes, Fast Company, Business Insider, and so many more. What a joy to have you here.
Thank you. That was quite the intro. I feel really good about myself now. Thank you.
Well, I could keep going and going and going. It's just really impressive what you've been able to achieve, not only for yourself, but for your clients. And so, however, before we get into the really good stuff and find out about what you've been doing, this is the table, and this is our virtual dinner party over the airwaves. So what are you bringing to the table? What's your favorite thing to bring to a dinner party?
My favorite thing to bring to a dinner party is, I'm not going to lie to you, I can't cook, and a lot of my friends do not drink. And so I am stopping at the supermarket on the way, and I will probably bring packaged cookies or cupcakes, and I have no shame in it whatsoever. I'm not even pretend to put them in a nice tray like I made them. I will just bring the good stuff that someone else prepared.
What is your definition of the good stuff? Is it like Oreos, or is it?
As a professional cake tester, who has tried every kind of cake known to man, I would just like to point out that the best cakes are created by Walmart and their bakery, or Costco and their bakery, and I will not be taking any further questions. I have tasted every cake in the land.
So that's really funny because growing up, the kids whose parents belonged to Costco and would have Costco birthday cakes, like we would all get so excited to go to their house because I also agree with you. Costco cake, especially that like cream cheese filling, next level.
Amazing. Right there with you.
That's a great idea. All right. Well, I have to know because I feel like visibility has been such a trending topic recently with people feeling like they are invisible, lost in the crowd, but also trying to be seen everywhere. So why do you feel like so many founders are feeling invisible right now, even if they're feeling like they're doing everything right?
Well, I think a huge part of it is because we've been trained to optimize for activity instead of association, right? We're told to post more, show up more, speak more, network more, create, you're creating a great product already or service. But if I ask 10 people what they actually know a founder for, I get 10 different answers because they're throwing things up all the time that say different things. For me, visibility isn't about being seen more. It's actually about being seen less. It's about becoming mentally linked to one singular thing. And I think the founders who are winning, they're not necessarily the loudest. They're not the busiest. They're not the ones doing the most. They're just the easiest to explain.
That is so fair. I think it's very difficult, and I don't know if you've seen this too, but I know one of the conversations that I have to have a lot as a brand strategist and somebody who helps with just trying to figure out what's the core of that message for your business is that people sometimes feel like, well, if I'm not selling, I have to try to sell to everybody. I have to make everybody happy. Is that something that you see as well? Or how do you have that conversation of being like, no, you don't have to be everything to everybody. It's actually doing you a disservice.
Well, I think there's always been this myth that like more eyeballs on my stuff equals more success, right? And I I don't think that was ever really true. I think maybe it was an idea that kind of worked when attention was scarce, but today attention is unlimited. Every founder has access to social media. Literally everyone can start a podcast tomorrow. Every single person posts every single day on LinkedIn, right? Like their dog died and they can tell you what that taught them about sales, right? We've solved the visibility problem, but what we haven't solved is the meaning problem. You don't need a million impressions for your business to take off. You need 5 of the right people to remember you for the right thing. I would rather have 100 people who knew exactly why to hire one of my clients than 100,000 people who vaguely remember seeing their content. I think what the marketplace in general is suffering from is what I call the recognition gap. It's the distance between who founders really are and what their market or their people or their target audience really sees them for. And a clear message will close that gap quicker than anything else anyone can do.
I think those vanity metrics are things that we've all been trained to go after. Got to fight the algorithm, got to make sure that we have more accounts that have seen us and more views and more likes and more everything. But what is that if people aren't actually able to either remember what it was that they liked or engaged with, or if those were completely the wrong eyeballs in the first place?
Right, right. Because the last thing you want to do is spend your time, your energy, your effort, your budget, especially if it's your marketing budget and it's small, attracting the wrong people who are never going to buy from you anyway. Who cares about 15 extra likes if it's not going to lead to 15 extra sales?
That's 100% true. Where do you think that people are most often going wrong or not getting it right, I should say, when it comes to bridging that gap, aside from saying too many things? Is what's causing the divide there between the two?
They've never stopped to think about what they really want to be known for. They think they
Mm.
have to be everyone to everyone. They cannot. The root cause of 99% of all of my clients' problems when they come to me is when I say, what do you want to be known for? It takes them 15 minutes for them to explain to me what they do. One sentence, one breath. Here's who I am, who I serve, why it matters right now to my target audience. That's all you need. Even if it's just a sentence that piques their interest further. Like my one sentence is, I help remarkable people become impossible to ignore. Well, one, everybody wants to be a remarkable person. And two, who doesn't want to be impossible to ignore? Like, we're not trying to be famous. We just want people to be able to say our message to when we're not in the room. Referrals mean business. It means people can find us. It means people talk about us, right? Word of mouth is still one of the greatest methods for getting business, no matter what your business is. And so you have to be able to teach people who you are in one sentence so that they can clearly understand what you do, why they need you, but also how they can take that one sentence and then refer you to other people when you're not around. And I think that's where every single person in business goes wrong. You're trying to be too many things to too many people, and you will not narrow down who you are. People don't understand what you're doing. I know amazing people. I'm in a mastermind group with 6 women. They're amazing. There's one woman in there and she's brilliant. I cannot tell you after 6 sessions what she even does. I can't refer people to her. I want to. She's lovely, amazing person. She sent me business. I can't tell you what she does, even after asking. So I will never send business her way. And it's heartbreaking, but that's how business works.
I'm curious to get your perspective because I run into a number of people who identify as being multi hyphenate. And so, how do you rationalize being a multi hyphenate person who has multiple businesses who do multiple different things? Is that a matter of having a different voice for each or different, message or purpose for each business or activity that you do? Or is there a way to umbrella and be able to fit everything under it?
I think you have to umbrella. Look, we're all multifaceted. We can all do 16 things before noon on a Sunday, but we don't need to. We need to attract the right people and repel the people that are never going to buy for us, are never going to follow us, are never going to refer it. We don't need them if they're not a connector, refer, buyer. We just don't. And so I think the huge part of it is that being in business is hard. Putting your product out there is hard. Putting a service out there is hard. There's a vulnerability to it. So we think we have to qualify ourselves by being 16 things in a row. We have to be one thing. What's the one thing we want to be known for that we can say in one sentence with one breath? And every other thing we offer should fall underneath that umbrella. So we lead with the one thing, and maybe someone needs this from us, but we lead with the one thing. And someone might need that from us, but it's still that one thing. Putting yourself out there for that one thing opens you up to criticism for other people. And as humans, we cannot take it. And that's why we keep labeling ourselves as author, speaker, whatever, founder of this, doer of that. Just be one thing. Tell people exactly what they can hire you for, and then funnel them through your system.
I think a lot of people in trying to be all those things are also wanting to be known for all those things, meaning they want to be on the front page of something or be featured somewhere. And so the concept of PR also sometimes feels a little bit too far or just like untouchable or unreachable for a lot of people. So I'm curious to see like how are you defining PR today in the context of helping these people get in front of the right people once they have that message? And what do you feel like has changed over the last few years there?
That's a really good question. I think traditional PR was largely about getting attention, right? For me now, 30 years in, it starts before that. It's recognition. Recognition starts much earlier. Before I ever pitch Forbes or a podcast or a keynote, I need to know from my client, what are we trying to make you famous for? Because media hit alone is not going to create your authority. It's going to amplify whatever message we're putting out there, whatever else exists when people Google you. And if your positioning, if your messaging isn't clear, if people don't know what you want to be known for, before the spotlight and the media arrives on you, that spotlight is just magnifying confusion and noise. So before anything else, for me, traditional PR was just get yourself out there however you can be out there, be in as many things as you want. And I think there's a lot of PR agencies that will still teach you that. I think there's a lot of marketing agencies will say the same thing, like just get wherever you can. I think it starts before that. I think when you're starting your business, when you're thinking of your offering, you need to think of what do I want to be known for? You start with the recognition and the strategy, and then the media features, the traditional PR hits, those are just bonuses to help move your authority forward.
So that just made me really think about something when it comes to working with brands. A lot of brands think about like, oh, I need to make sure we have as many people who recognize our name as possible. But there is a really big difference between brand awareness and brand recognition. Brand awareness is like, yeah, sure, I know that exists, but there's that yes and I think that that's where that recognition comes in. It's like, yes, I know they exist and this is what I know they do. And being able to bridge that gap is so important, whether it's your own personal brand, your business, etc. And I think that that is a great point where if you're amplifying it, you want to make sure you're amplifying the right thing. Otherwise, what are people going to come to you to? That's how you get bad leads, is if people are coming to you for things that you don't actually do, or even worse, that you don't like doing.
Yeah, exactly. I think most people accidentally build their reputation because they're not paying attention. They're saying yes to any opportunity, but then they evolve and then they launch a new business or they add a new service, right? And eventually they're known for 20 million different things. Meanwhile, they're hoping to be seen for the one thing where they've evolved to, right? But the market still remembers them for the 6 things or the course they launched 10 years ago or the one media hit they had way back when, right? So they want people to see them for the one thing they really want, but like hope's not a positioning strategy. Every decision that you make for your business moving forward, and I don't mean this to sound ominous, but you need to look at it this way. Every decision you make every day for your business, how you're going to promote it, what you're going to post, what you're going to say, what you're going to talk about, there needs to be a strategy behind that, because you are either adding to your recognition and building up your authority bank, or you're diminishing it by literally every single choice you make.
That is scary, but very true and very honest, and very important to think about that when it comes to considering your brand and thinking about, like, well, this is what I've always done. When it comes to navigating a shift into a new position or a new thing that you're doing, it can feel like, ugh, but like, I just spent all this time working on being known for this. So what would you say when it comes to navigating that shift away from something else that you may have been known for to something new? Because I know, when we talked, you mentioned that you're in the process of somewhat doing that as well yourself, moving from being I do like done for you PR, amazing person, getting the people into really helping people do it themselves or find what that core message is and help them through it that way. So what would your advice be for others that are doing that shift?
Right. It's the first exercise, right? We've said it. What do I want to be known for? Moving forward, where do I want my business to be now, but also in 5 years? And then I think it's being honest with yourself. Okay, where do people really see me? I think my advice for people is you have to train people like you would a puppy. You have to train people how to think about you, talk about you, refer you. I have a referral guide. When I meet with people, I'm like, hey, it was great chatting with you. Loved learning about what you're doing, especially if it's a network session. I'm like, love chatting about you, learning what you're doing. Just FYI, if you have anyone who fits X, Y, and Z, here's how you explain me. Here's how you refer me. Here's how they can work with me. And oh, by the way, I offer referral fees. And I literally send a PDF document to them, because I'm teaching people how to think, how to speak, how to talk about me. You will see on every single podcast I'm on, I say the same messaging all the time. My bio is the same, no matter where you see it. If you Googled me right now, everything would come up and they'd be like, wow, she says the same 6 things in every single podcast, just a little bit differently. It's all by design, because I'm trying to train my people how to find me, prove that I show up, and let them get to know me a little bit, but also like, here's the language that I use, and I want you to start talking about me the way I want people to start talking about me. I think all too often people think, well, I've decided, I used to be a wellness coach and now I want to be a lawyer. And they're like, I'm just going to post, hey, I'm a lawyer now on social media, and everyone's going to figure it out from one post. And then a month later, they're like, why do people keep coming to me for wellness information when obviously every post since last week has been about me being a lawyer? Because you haven't taught them. You haven't trained them. You just showed up one day in a new costume, deciding this is where you want to be. And you have to lead the people. You have to teach them how to think about you.
I think one of the things I hear a lot from my clients and from other founders is that they don't want to post the same thing too often. And that they're like, oh, well, I said something about that like already once before. Or, oh, well, I can't repost that because I've already done it. People are going to think that I'm just reposting things. But to your point, you have to say things over and over and over and over again for people to hear you. I think it's this very interesting where we think people care more than they do, or that they remember more than they do. Because if you just say, hey, I have this going on once, and you're like, oh man, that really failed. It's like, well, you only said it once and you had, 250 people see it, but did they see it? Like, you don't know.
Think about it. They'll teach you in basic sales, basic marketing. It takes what? 14 touches before someone even thinks about making a purchase. So you have to say your message at least 14 times, minimum 14 times. But also, there has never been a time where there is more noise out there. I love my friends and I want to follow them on Instagram. I miss all their stuff. Instagram shows me everyone else's stuff, but I don't see my friends. I don't see it chronologically. I don't see it all the time. So I might miss their first 6 announcement that their book's coming out. But on that 7th announcement, I'm going to pay attention, right? Those people are important to me. And then I'm going to share the information because I'm so happy that my friend has a book coming out. Those sorts of things. But you have to, if she'd stopped at one post, I would have never seen it. It couldn't be a supporter. I wouldn't know that it's there. I also think we spend so much time thinking and doing and focusing on our own things. We forget nobody cares. No one else cares what KJ's up to as much as KJ cares what she's up to. Like, it's not all about KJ. As much as I want it to be, it's just not. I post 3 times a week on social media. I can't even tell you what I posted last Wednesday. Like, literally, it's been a week and I don't even know. I'd have to go back and check. So how can I expect my followers to? Put them in buckets, alternate, post this bucket, that bucket, this bucket, that bucket, repeat, repeat. Repetition is what gets you recognition, and that's going to get you sales.
I think to your point that there was always this need for a recognition economy. But at the same time, attention economy really became the name of the game for people to get their foot in the door, to have the visibility, to be able to be recognized. But with this shift into more of a recognition economy, that has to be great for some people versus the attention economy. So who do you feel like the recognition economy helps more than the attention economy?
I think it helps the person with the clearest positioning in people's
Mhm.
mind, right? The winner of the recognition economy will not be the one who's winning in the attention economy. It's the person with the clearest message. People are overwhelmed with noise. And so if you have a clear message, they go to you right away. Easiest choice, clearest message, less lift for them. That is the person that's going to win. Recognition is different than awareness. Awareness is someone saying, oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that person. Recognition and the recognition economy is all about like, oh, you have to talk to KJ. She is the person who helps remarkable people become impossible to ignore. Like, you need attention, you need recognition, you have to talk to KJ. You have to talk to so and so. This is the person. Those are 2 completely different things. Attention economy rewarded loud, constant posting, the person who was always doing the most, right? The people crying out for attention, the squeaky wheels, right? The recognition economy is all about clarity. It might not even be the best person at what they're doing, just the clear message. If you need tires, you're going to go with the clearest person. If you need a cleaning product, you're going to go with the one you can understand. If you want to do something for skincare, you might care what's in it, but you don't want to leave. You're not going to the one that's trying to explain to you all the fancy products. You're like, what's going to get rid of my under eye bags? Like, the clearest message will always win. And that's our recognition economy.
So recognition still does require visibility. You need to be present. And I know that's for some founders, the concept of having to get on camera or actually do the pitches or say the things over and over and over again can be really, really challenging, especially if you're an introvert. We can put it on when we have to, but we really prefer sweatpants and not leaving the house. Or at least I'll say that for myself. What is your advice for people who may have a little bit of that imposter syndrome that's keeping them from going out? What's your, pulling your bootstraps up advice for people that might be sitting in that camp?
Well, I think part of it is we've confused visibility with performance.
Mm,
You don't have to
okay.
dance on TikTok. You don't have to become an influencer. You don't even have to share your personal life or be an open book or build in public or be authentic you, whatever the phrase is this week on social media. Visibility can be writing, it can be research, it can be speaking occasionally, it can be publishing ideas and being quoted in magazines. You can be hosting conversations on like a LinkedIn Live or Instagram Live or just your local bookstore. Building remarkable work, visibility. The goal doesn't have to be famous or becoming, the most popular person on X, Y, and Z with the most followers. The goal is becoming unforgettable at what you do to the people who matter for you. What are they reading? What are they watching? What are they listening to? The people who matter to you. Get clear on your message and only show up there. You do not have to get out of your sweatpants if you don't want to get out of your sweatpants, but you do have to give yourself permission to shine, right? I don't think that confidence comes first in any way, shape, or form. I am not a very confident person. I hate being on camera. I really, truly do. And when I see myself on screens, I pick apart every single part of my presence, what I'm doing with my hands. Sometimes I roll my eyes, all sorts of things. Clarity comes first. Just like you need to decide what you want to be known for, once you decide what you want to be known for, clear about where you're going to show up. Just as clear as you are about that message. When people know exactly what they stand for, confidence comes from there. The confidence always flows after you know exactly who you are and what you stand for. Most founders, I don't think, are afraid of visibility. I think they're afraid of being misunderstood. But if they're clear on who they are and what they offer and who they serve, the confidence usually always follows.
As you look forward into next year and beyond, what are some of the things that you're excited about for founders when it comes to recognition?
I am very excited for the attention economy to be over. I am very excited for the people who thought, oh, my work is good enough, it'll just speak for itself, to finally get the recognition that they're due. I'm excited for them to step a little bit outside of their comfort zone and not become Instagram influencers, but to be using visibility and the steps towards recognition to their advantage to get the attention. I'm excited for the smartest people in the room to finally be the people we're paying attention to, because we're not worried about who has too many followers or the song and dance. I think we're all kind of a little bit over the I'm an influencer, click my link to do whatever. And they're like, who's the person who can clearly explain this to me in a way that I can understand? And those are usually the smartest people in the room. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for us to move away from the flash that social media created and go back to substance that experts provide. I also feel like everyone's simplifying. We were in the hard hustle era. Then it was like everyone was in their soft girl era. And I'm not even sure I really understand what that means. But I feel like more people are redefining what success looks like for them. And I think success for more people is I want to do work with who I want to work with at what I'm good at. And then that's where I'm done. And I think that clarity of here's what success means and what I really want out of life is going to produce so many more amazing experts for us to learn and grow from. And I'm excited to see who's the next big one.
I think it's really hard sometimes when you're just like, I know what I'm doing, but I'm surrounded by all these people who are able to figure out the algorithm, and the comparisonitis can feel very intimidating and make you feel that, well, people don't actually want to hear what I have to say. They want to hear, people who have figured out how to get the hooks just right and get people to stick around for a little bit longer and, say X, Y, and Z and make you want to do things their way, even if that's absolutely not the best way for you. So what would be your advice? What is, step one? Like, what is something that they can do this week to move them a little bit closer to that future that you are predicting is coming down the line?
I think they should find 5 people. Any 5 people. They don't even have to be 5 people they know really well. In fact, it's probably better if they're 5 people who don't know them really well. And just ask them. When someone asks what I do, what do you tell people? Don't explain any further. Just listen to what they have to say. And if all 5 of those answers are different, congratulations, you've just found your recognition gap. The market can only repeat what you've repeatedly made clear to people. Go do some research and see what people are saying about you when you're not around. Look, I know your therapist is going to say it's none of our business what people think about us when we're not in the room. But in business, it is. It literally is your business how people are talking about you when you're not there. So ask 5 people. Do your own little focus group. Hey, when someone asks what I do, what do you tell them? Listen to their answers. And hopefully it's really close to what you want. And if it's not, you need to start working on training your network, how they think, talk, and feel about you.
I mean, I'm a marketer and I am so bad at my own marketing. I'm great at helping other people. I don't like doing my own because I just, we're all too close to our own stuff. And sometimes we need someone like you to step in and hit us over the head and tell us like, you're a badass, you can do it, this is what you're great at and you should be proud of it, and scream it from the rooftops. So I really appreciate that that's what you're doing every single day and helping founders and just individuals find that moment to shine. And so, I mean, I could keep you here all day talking about all of this because I feel, really revved up to go out and look at mine and be more confident in the not needing to be visible, but being recognized, which is a very different attitude when it comes to content creation.
Yeah, you said it perfectly.
There is not a lack of talent out there in the founder space. It's just a matter of being a little afraid of putting yourself out there or not being concrete enough with what those ideas are. So you heard it here. You're great at what you do. Figure out what it is you want to be known for. Get in touch with KJ and find out how she can help you do that. And so, KJ, thank you so much for being here. But I want to make sure that people know how they can get in touch with you and also hear a little bit more about what they might find in your book, Pitchworthy.
You can find me at hearsaypr.com. That's HEARSAYPR.com, or on Instagram at KJ Blattenbauer. I will help you figure out what your recognition gap is and how to close it in just a few simple steps. But also, my book Pitchworthy walks you through every single thing you need to know about public relations and how to build your own public relations plan, how to use it to your advantage. It is all of the things I've learned in 30 years of public relations. The pink version will walk you through all the steps, tips, and tricks. The white version will be the workbook that walks you through every exercise I put my clients through to make them impossible to ignore. And you can get that on Amazon or anywhere books are sold.
And so if you're listening and you have this episode thinking of not only yourself, but of somebody else that you know, another founder who's doing great work, that you probably can't necessarily describe what they do, feel free to send this to them as a little secret tip. Hey, by the way, I'd love to refer you, but I need you to tell me what you do. Share this episode with them or get in touch with KJ, and make sure you hit subscribe on Spotify or wherever you listen so you never miss an invitation. And that is all for today. I will see you next time. And as always, I will save you a seat.